Bloodborne is another one of them FromSoft games that are just on a different pedestal of greatness. It takes place in the Gothic city of Yharnam, where everyone is sick and ill, and it's your goal to figure out the mysteries behind that. A game that elevated my vision of gaming to being one of my favorite games of all time. And a game I haven't even beat yet, but we gotta skip past that part for right now. But Bloodborne has been out since 2015, and the very beloved game has been begged for around the community for PC ports, a remake, hell, even a sequel would make everyone go nuts. With no word or vision on the future of that though, as gamers, we twiddle our thumbs and sit back to see what we could do to taste that experience again. So most of the times we get some corny spin-offs or games trying to replicate the greatness that Bloodborne brought and just not succeed. But I'm telling you guys right now, I played the demo for Lies of P. This game is so freaking fire. This game is a different level of like a Bloodborne clone. A lot of the time I see a lot of these games try to replicate it. I've seen a lot of people say Steel Rising is another one of those games that replicate that Bloodborne feeling. But after getting my hands on with this Lies of P demo, take my money. This game is about the star of the show, Pinocchio, a puppet that just wants to be a real boy, and every time he tells a lie, his nose grows super. Oh man, that's the wrong script. My bad. Here we go. My fault. The game is about the star of the show, Pinocchio, created by the puppet master Geppetto. You explore a very similar setting as Bloodborne with dark and turned bad city called Krat, due to the puppet industry. The reason I'm talking about it now is, honestly, I wanted to put this video out way long ago, but my internet has been down for a week, and I want to give a big shout out to the technician that came by and fixed it, because that's my boy. That ghost energy came in handy when I needed him to put in a whole new wire into my system over here. So shout out to you, man. The demo got released during the Summer Games Fest, and we were able to play about 2 chapters of it, and we got to battle 3 bosses that I'm gonna go into detail about and that I absolutely loved. So without further ado, man, let me give you guys a first impressions of a game that I am itching to play right now, Lies of P. First off, before we get into this video, guys, my name is YouLoveNicktana. I like to do game reviews on here and just talk about everything and all gaming. If you like that type of stuff, please make sure you guys hit the sub button. We're hitting at like 400 subs. I'm trying to get to 1,000. I want you guys to be on that path with me. So don't be afraid to hit the sub button and come kick it with your boy. But anyway, back into the first impressions. The first thing I want to get into is I downloaded and played this on my PS5, and I decided to use quality graphics versus performance. And I do want to say, please, by all means, do not do that, okay? Yeah, the game looks like a little bit better, but when it comes to these Souls-like games, you want to make sure you have the frames to be able to dodge certain attacks, block and parry on time, so those frames will come in handy. I don't know what in my head thought that I wanted to run this on quality mode, but as a gamer or just anybody who plays games, just use this as like a rule when you do your reviews or when you play a certain game. Just put it on performance mode. The game looks just as good, and you are getting those extra frames. So please, just do that. But anyways, back to the demo. I loved how they gave you the option between play styles with this. They gave you 3 different weapons, one for a balanced build, one for more of a powerful strength build, and another one for dexterity. I went with a strength build myself, and it felt good. You could basically 2-shot most things, which was nice. The enemies you see are nothing super special. They're more like puppet based. I saw like a few butlers without heads, or some really pale guys that needed sun with ties. But those enemies aren't really the greatest, but there are some bigger enemies that I did enjoy seeing, and they had a little bit more of life to them. They're basically just cool to look at, and they don't require so much of a challenge to beat. They are just there to irritate you for the most part. The game takes inspiration from Bloodborne by also throwing in shortcuts during each part you are on, which I love that they took from. So basically, if you go through the map a little bit and then you get to a certain part, there's these doors with like little shocks on them that you can go ahead and go from behind, unlock that door, and that creates a shortcut for you, so you don't have to go through the whole map again. You could just take shortcuts to get to your destination a little faster. It didn't feel like you were dragging on and not making progress because of how far you had to go without a checkpoint. The fighting mechanics in this game were something I really enjoyed. Again, sticking with that Bloodborne formula, the game has weapon durability. The thing that I love is that it doesn't cost you money in this game. You just have to make sure you sharpen your blade every once in a while. The way that he sharpens his blade in this game is he basically takes his other arm and sharpens his blade on the elbow of it, and I'm telling y'all, that shit was crispy. I love that shit, bro. It's the little things like that and the little details like that that I absolutely love in a game. Plus, they had elemental statuses you could add to your weapon that I thought was a great addition to the game. The only thing I could say about the sharpening of the blades is sometimes these enemies could get really aggro, so stepping back and really sharpening your weapon could take up a lot of time, and you have to be really passive when going in for your next attack. You also have these little special attack things. I forgot what they're called, but when you damage these enemies consistently, which didn't do the most damage, but you could use it to combo into something very cool. And I mean, it's there to have. So you could probably imagine if this game is basically a Bloodborne clone, that it would have the same difficulty as the original, right? And you're 100% correct, because this game was pretty hard. And in my opinion, being me, but that's me. I can't speak for you. This game, when it gets to the boss fights, is its own freak of nature. In the demo, you get 2 boss fights, and I compare the donkey fight similar to an invader fight that you would get in Elden Ring, which if I could add in right now, that was a very cool fight to have. And if you have a lot of those invader fight feelings, I think that will make the game very fun and create a different element across the game instead of just going across these super powerful, really hard to beat bosses. The boss fights were tough to say the least. The reason I felt like they were so much trouble is I wouldn't say so much the enemy being unpredictable, because they usually have the same 3 to 4 combos. It's just the fact I feel like rolling in this game isn't as good as it was in Souls games. To be honest, I just basically relied solely on blocking when I got attacked. Maybe your playthrough will be different, but that was my thought on it. The sense of accomplishment I felt was just as good as playing Elden Ring and Bloodborne for the same time. And every time you beat a boss, you just felt a sense of accomplishment and felt very good beating it and doing it. It made me want more. To kind of sum up this video, I got lost in this game for 3 hours playing the demo, and at first I was unsure if this was a game I was going to purchase, but after that demo, they showed it was more than enough for me to want to purchase this game. If you haven't played the demo and need something to play, honestly, give it a shot. It's definitely worth the time to put into and experience a new Souls-like experience. And to all my Bloodborne lovers, I think you will accept this game with open arms. Thank you guys for listening to my first impressions of Lies of P. Thank you guys for kicking it. I gotta go ahead. I got some other things I gotta do, but be safe. Tell someone you love them. Catch you guys next video. Later.